Hey, it's Jeremy here with Red Hawk Coaching. Hope you're having a great day, and I am looking forward to this presentation with JLA Realty on how to thrive in today's world, the newish basics. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe. Click on the subscribe button below. Also, click on the bell so you get notifications of the latest videos that I put out that'll help you grow your business. Have a great day. All right, hey, it's Jeremy here with Red Hawk Coaching, and glad to be here today. Here with Mike, and I know Ashley is jumping in here, so I appreciate y'all creating the opportunity today for me to bring this class, how to thrive in today's world, the newish basics, and because it is a different world, it's amazing, what's happened since March, and we thought this was going to be a 2 week, maybe 4 week ordeal, and now we're going into month 6. So. Is it a time to thrive? Absolutely. I know a lot of the people that I'm coaching right now are doing very, very well. I just got through talking with Mike about JLA having one of the best, I think it was July, right, Mike?
Correct,
The
correct.
best Julys ever. And so there's plenty of opportunity out there today. And I'm hoping to give you some strategies to be able to cope with this time as we're kind of wading through the waters, and how to actually not just cope with it, but how to thrive in this time. And so we're going to jump right in. This is a 30-minute session. We're going to get you back out and also productive. And I believe in that. So we're going to keep you for a short time. I'm going to drop a lot of knowledge really quick. I'm going to give you an opportunity to also download my notes at the end. So if you're taking notes, I think that's great. It works with the mind. It helps instill some of the things that we'll be teaching. If you don't have notes or don't have the ability to, you're going to get my notes today. All right, so let's jump in. Jeremy Williams, I'm a business coach. I own Red Hawk Coaching. I started this business back in 2017. I've actually been coaching and working with agents at all levels since 2010, booking over 10,000 coaching and training hours with agents and small businesses. I'm a husband. My wife, Lori, she works with Insperity right here in Kingwood. She's been there for quite a long time. I have 2 great kids. I've got one that's going into middle school this year and one going into high school. So please be praying for me. And outside of that, I love being outside, and I enjoy fishing, and I enjoy coaching people and helping them find the things that they're really good at and how to magnify that and get them to that next level. All right, so let's jump right into it. The things you control. And I know I've been in the real estate industry since 2004, and I'm one of those people that want to control everything, and you can't. There's so many people that are touching a transaction throughout that period of time, and these while they apply to business, it also applies to life and what's going on right now. And so there are really only 4 things that you can control. The first one is your activities. You get to choose those. Nobody else chooses those for you. So in the business world right now, choosing the activity to go and lead generate and prospect and find those people that are ready, willing, and able to buy or sell and invest in real estate. You get to choose that activity. Nobody else gets to decide that for you. May it look a little bit different? It may, right? Some of the face-to-face stuff is a little more challenging than it was back before March. Yet there's still plenty of opportunities and ways to lead generate. Are you choosing to do that in your business? Or it might be, I've seen a lot of people, and I know I'm on the personal journey to lose weight during this time. You can choose the activities that you're doing with that, whether it be working out or choosing not to work out. It's still your choice. So look at the activities that you're doing every day and know that you're choosing those activities, and the results that come from those can help you get to that next level. What you focus on. uh, Not looking at the business perspective, but looking at the world perspective. Do you go and watch the news? Are you choosing to focus on that? Or are you choosing to focus on other things like, building relationships, or focusing on your family, or focusing on growing your business? You get to choose what you focus on. Nobody else does that for you. Mindset. Everything starts with mindset. 90% of this business, 90% of life is mindset. The other 10% is what you do. And so are you feeding your mind the right things? Are you getting into a coaching relationship? Are you reading books? Are you going and finding those people that are more productive and figuring out what they're doing? Are you feeding your mind with the right things right now? Are you feeding it things that take away from those things? Mindset is key. Last but not least is, who do you surround yourself with? Are you putting those people in your life that are going to lift you up? Are you putting those people in your life that are going to tear you down? Find those people. JLA is a huge company. There's, Mike, how many people are there? 1,000 people?
Almost 1,000.
Almost 1,000 people. Go find the people in the organization that are going to pull you up and lift you up. You've got great leaders. Find those people that are going to lift you up and take you to the next level. Don't hang around those people that are going to tear you down, because there's people out there that will. All right. So your activities, you get to choose those. What you focus on, you get to choose that. Mindset, you get to choose that. You know, I think mindset is that first step out of bed in the morning. You're going to know right then whether or not you're going to have a great day as soon as your feet hit the ground. Choose your mindset then. And then who you surround yourself with. You'll find those people that want to lift you up and grow together. All right, schedule. So schedule is essential, and I'm going to use an acronym called LIFE at some point in this part of the conversation. These are strategies that are taken from top agents all across the country. And so the first thing that we got to do is start with the end in mind. So what I mean by start with the end in mind, what time are you going to go to bed? Now, right now, if you're like me and my kids, it's tough to have a schedule. And sometimes I'm finding myself staying up till 12 o'clock at night, you know, watching that movie, because there's not that defined schedule or that normal routine, that habitual routine that we're used to. Yet, if you're wanting to take your game to the next level, is you've got to start looking at and following a schedule, and starting with the end in mind is key. So what time do you go to bed? And obviously, knowing what time you're going to bed, you know how many hours your body needs to get rest. And so now you know what time you wake up, and then everything else happens in between. So I've got some people that I work with and coach, they just need 4 hours of sleep. I don't know how they do it. They're always going 4 hours. They could wake up. I'm the baby. I need 8 hours of sleep. I need my beauty rest. And so I know that I need at least 8 hours of sleep to function at my highest ability. Whatever it is for you, figure that out and define that bedtime, and define that time when you wake up. The things you can't move, the rocks. This might be a team meeting. If you're wanting to participate in the team meetings with your office, making sure that, you know, Mike's not going to call you, John's not going to call you and say, hey, what would be the best time for you to meet? It's just not going to happen. It's going to be a scheduled time that you'll be aware of. Put it on your calendar. If you're wanting to participate in it, it's a rock, right? You cannot move it. If you want to go to a training, many of y'all, we've got 37 people on right now. This is a rock in your schedule. You've established this as a time to go and develop yourself. It's not going to move. I'm not going to call and say, okay, when would it be best for you to meet? It's a rock. Okay. Also, what is another rock is vacation. I've worked with realtors for a long time now. And a lot of times I'll ask them, when's the last time you've taken a vacation? When have you taken time off for yourself, right? Because we're always working in the business and not necessarily on the business or on ourselves. Put the vacation on your calendar and then hold to it. It's a rock. It's not going to move unless you have booked a cruise like I have in June of 2021 and Carnival has canceled that. So sometimes they'll move that rock for you. All right. Put those rocks on your calendar. All right, now here's the acronym of LIFE. So if you're taking notes, just write the word LIFE, write it vertically down the page. It's an acronym, and we'll go through each one of them. Notice I haven't talked anything necessarily pertaining to business. There's a purpose for that, and we'll get back to that. But the first one is love. L stands for love. So scheduling the time that you're spending with your loved ones, your spouse, your children, your family, those people that you're close to, your relationships. And the reason why that's important is that if you're not spending that time there, you may grow a successful business financially, yet you may be celebrating all by yourself. All right. So make sure you're not leaving those relationships behind. You've got to have those relationships, and relationships takes a time commitment. I'll share with you my personal coach. He came back to me and said, okay, when's the last time you've had a date night with your wife? And I had to look back and I said, it's been a little while. And he goes, do you want to have a successful coaching business with a wife or without a wife? Make sure that time is on the calendar. And sometimes it seems silly. Like my son has taekwondo every Wednesday, every Thursday. I know it. It's habitual, yet it needs to go on my calendar. Why? Because it's really easy that something else can come up and I say, you know what, I'm not able to get to taekwondo today, but I'll be there tomorrow. And then I'm not there tomorrow. I see that happen in the lives of real estate agents all the time, where they'll sacrifice that because there's a piece of business that comes up. Honor those relationships, honor that time, put it on your calendar, even if it's personal. Dinner time, things like that, those are important. I haven't missed a dinner time with my family in 3 years. So make sure you're evaluating that and start with love. All right, next is improvement. I for improvement. So scheduling the time to feed your mind. Now, 20 to 30 minutes a day would probably be sufficient in this area. Find a book that you want to read. Read a book with other people. Go start a book club and read that book together. Learn it together. Journal. Read scripture, whatever that is for you, to where you're improving your mind every day. I'll watch a YouTube video on some of the most random things because I'm just looking for an opportunity to learn something new. I watched something on elephants the other day. How much do elephants eat in a day? 200 to 300 pounds of grass. I don't know why I need to know that, yet if I'm ever on Jeopardy, I'll at least know the answer. Okay. So every day, find something to feed your mind. If you're not learning, you're not earning. That's a pretty common phrase out there, and I truly believe that. We've got to be learning based and looking for those opportunities. If JLA is offering training opportunities, go get plugged into those. It's really, really important that you're learning as you go along. All right. F, fitness and nutrition. So make sure that you're taking care of your health. We're given this vessel to live in and be able to do our work in, and it all goes back to the energy that we have. And if we're not taking care of our body, then what's going to happen is we're not going to be able to be the best that we can be at our business. I struggle with this. This is one of the areas that I struggle with. I have to make sure that I put this on my calendar. My coach keeps me accountable to this. So we talk about half of my coaching call about business, the other about health. Because it matters. It matters what we do in that area, because it transforms everything that we do because of the energy that we're now able to bring to our business and to our relationships and everything else. All right. Have I talked about business yet, Mike? Yes or no?
No.
I haven't. And here's the reason why, is because if you don't take care of all this other stuff, it's very difficult to have a successful business. All right. Last one is economic, and this is the business portion. So it's going to be reviewing your goals daily, not weekly, not monthly, not the one time you sit down to write them manually, but looking at your business goals every single day. And I'm about to give you a tool that makes that a very simple process. Sometimes we start thinking and talking about goals and we think it needs to be several pages long. No, it just needs to be one page, something you can review daily. Scheduling your business activities on your calendar. So everything that you're doing in your business requires time, right? We only get so much of it. So if it requires time, then it's got to be on your calendar. No excuses. So if it's lead gen, it requires time. It needs to be on your calendar. If it's marketing, it needs to be on your calendar, right? It requires time. And so for you to be consistent across all those things, make sure that it's on your calendar, because if it's not on your calendar, it's not going to exist. All right, you're gonna go weeks by and you're like, oh, I should have done that. Well, you haven't done it because you haven't allocated time to it. All right. And it's amazing. Sometimes you're like, okay, well, do I have to commit a lot of time to it? No, just if you're committing time to it every single day and you're consistent with that, then it's amazing the results that'll come out of that. Like, I'm building a course right now. I'm spending 3 hours a week on it. Well, 3 hours a week times 50, that's 150 hours. In 1 year, I could build a course just spending 3 hours a day. Okay. Same thing with your lead gen. You don't have to lead generate 3 hours a day. You'll have to lead gen 8 hours a day. Lead gen an hour, hour and a half every day, and do that every day. And what happens to your business? It's going to blow up. I promise you. All right, one of my favorite books, The One Thing. Jay Papasan's a good friend of mine. What I like about The One Thing is it talks a lot about focus, and it's where I'm gonna grab this goal setting business plan for you. It's creating your GPS. Now, I want you to think of your GPS as like on your phone, right? I think about our family trips and when we went back, back in the 80s and the 90s, we'd have to get out the Randy McNally map. I think that's what it was, Randy McNally. And we'd draw a line on where we're going to go. And if we got off the map, we'd have to get the map back out and figure out how to get back on. Well, it's a lot easier these days because we have our phone that'll tell us exactly where we're at. And so it's called the GPS because it's a tool that helps you hone in on where you need to be, right? And if you get off course a little bit, you can come back to it. All right. So it's really, really simple. It should be a page and a half at the most. Otherwise, you're going to create this big, beautiful business plan with executive summaries and everything else, and you're going to go stick it on a shelf and you'll never see it again. All right. So I want you to create one goal in your business. Now, a lot of times agents will say, well, I want to make $200,000 a year. Great goal, right? Or $100,000 a year. Whatever that goal is for you, it's often tied to gross commission income. And I'm going to challenge you, start looking at net. Net income is what matters. Gross is just a made up number, because I know a lot of people that do a gross amount, but at the end of the day, they make just as much as an individual agent that watches their expenses. So establish that goal, but I want you now, instead of tying it to money, I want you to tie it to people. So if it's $200,000 a year, if it takes 25 to 30 people, whatever that number is to get there, I want that goal now to be framed in, my goal this year is to help 30 families find their dream home, right? Why do I want it to be about people? Is because when we take care of people, the money shows up, all right? So it's about people. And second reason is, if you were to go share that goal with somebody outside of real estate and you said, I want to make $100,000 this year, who do you know that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? They're going to kind of look at you as very transactional. Now, if I went to that same person, I said, my goal this year as a business owner is to help 30 people find their dream home. Who do you know that's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate that I could help? Right? There's an emotional connection to that because it's about helping people, not about the money. The money will show up, help the people. All right. One goal though, not 8, not 3, not 2, one goal. Next, I want you to create 3 priority areas. Think of these as like levers or buckets. What are the things that are going to help me get to that goal? So it might be sphere of influence, right? It might be marketing through social media. It could be open houses. It could be door knocking. Whatever that lever or bucket is for you, I want you to have 3 of those. Not 5, not 8, just 3. Not 1. We're not going to put all our eggs in one basket. Have 3. And the reason you don't want to have too many is because you're not going to do any of them really well. I don't want you to do 1 because you'd have to do that really well and all your eggs are in one basket. Have 3 that you can work. Underneath each of those priority areas, I want you to create 5 strategies. Now, these 5 strategies are going to be specific. They're going to be measurable. Okay. So like, let's take, for instance, let's say one of your levers, one of your buckets is social media. I don't want you to go back there and put your strategy as post to Facebook. All right. I want it to be post to Facebook once a day, 5 days a week. And this is the type of content I want to post. A strategy, something that you can actually measure, something that you can actually go back and in time. And when I say time, you want to give it at least 3 months so you can start looking at the results and the trends. You can go back and say, okay, this is working, this is not, let me tweak this here. All right. 5 strategies in each area. And then make it about people. I want to emphasize this again, is make your goals about the people. You help the people, the money shows up. All right, I see a few of y'all raising hands, so I'll go back at the end and I'll answer some of these questions that are popping up on here. All right, last tool I want to give you is your win one. and it's W1N. And this was a tool that was created to help you focus on your wins, both in business and in life. And notice this whole conversation has been about business and life. It hasn't been, let's go focus on your business, and then life is in a box over here, or vice versa. It's got to be both. All right, so the win one, we're going to use that same acronym of life. So love, improvement, fitness, and economic. And we're going to take the things that, if those things happened in a day, no matter what happened, you could have like 3 closings and they all fell out. Whatever happens that day, if these things happen, you've won the day. All right, so my example is love. So my wife, to say at least one phrase of affirmation in the morning and one in the evening. If you read the book, The 5 Love Languages, her love language is affirmation. If I do that, I win the day. My kids, their love language is time. So being able to spend 20 minutes a day with them doing something that they enjoy. All right, if I do that, I win. Improvement, read scripture 10 minutes a day, read a self-improvement book 30 minutes a day, watch one YouTube video and learn something new, like how much an elephant eats. If I do that every day, I win. Fitness and nutrition, I do 1 physical activity every day. I drink a gallon of water. I cut sugar to a minimum each day. If I do those, I win. Economic, I review, and this should be on everybody's win one, is to review their GPS daily. You've got to look at your goals daily. This is going to bring you, like I was talking about, that GPS brings you back to center when you get off track. So you should be looking at that every day. You should have it posted to your computer, to the wall, to the bathroom mirror, to the refrigerator, right? That's a good place if you're working on health and nutrition. Put that GPS right on the refrigerator to remind you you're not supposed to be eating that. I write 10 personalized cards a day. I send 2 cards to brokers daily. I add 2 free webinars a week. I do direct messages through Facebook daily. All of them are measurable and they happen every single day. Now, saying that, I want you to think about this almost as like going to grade school and getting a test. Is there might be some days you get 7 out of 10. That's still passing. That's still a good day. So I don't want you to think every single one of these must happen every day. You want a majority of them to happen every day. All right. And then accountability, you got to make a commitment. So think of like writing a contract. That's a commitment, right? You've got to, you know the 4 things you can control. You can develop a schedule. You create a GPS so you have your goals and you've established a win one so you can focus on those wins that are in your life, right? But you've got to make a commitment to them. You can't go dip your toe in the water and test it out. You've got to be 100% in, right? I don't know anybody that's been very successful in anything that's dipped their toe in the water. If you want to be successful and you want to be successful as a real estate business owner, you got to go 100% in and commit. And hopefully some of these strategies today have given you the ability to kind of look at your business in a little bit different light to be able to go to that next level. Jim Rohn says your life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. And the only thing that's consistent in life is change. We've obviously gone through that with the pandemic. We've had some major changes in our life. And, the better we cope with those changes and realize that we've got to adapt and pivot and shift and whatever word you want to use, the better off we are. And a lot of it starts with changing ourselves, changing our mindset, changing our habits that we've built and become accustomed to, and looking at it not from the victim mentality, but from the victor mentality, that we can go out and still do some really amazing things. I was talking with Mike right before we started this call. I've got a client, she's in San Antonio doing over $30 million in volume, and her business is not slowing down. It's actually picking up. I think she took like 5 or 6 listings last week. So it doesn't stop. And I want you to know there's a lot of opportunity out there. So we've got to change. We've got to change the way we think. We might have to change a few habits, and we've got to be committed. We've got to be 100% committed to what we're trying to accomplish. How do you connect with me? You can just Google me. I'm everywhere. You can find me on Facebook. I've got a community group that you can join. I've got a business page. You find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube. or you can contact me directly, and there's some of that information there. And just to let you know, I am recording this, and so I'll get a copy of this back out to Mike and Kim. So if you want to go back through and watch this again, you'll have that opportunity, and y'all can obviously share with those that weren't able to make it today. And then to get my notes, if you just go to redhawkcoaching.com/thrive, you can go on there and just fill out. There's a little form. As soon as you fill that out, it'll drop the notes to you right in a PDF. All right. And let's see, I've got 4 in the chat here. So I want to go through real quick. Okay, for some reason I can't participate via video, but I can hear everything. Awesome. Good. You'll get a copy of the video. I think that was Dana. Ashley trying to hop back on. Okay, great. Okay, so no questions in particular. All right. So Mike, I appreciate the opportunity again, and with you on here, was there anything that hit you, or any message to share to the agents based on what we covered today?
Well, I think one of the most important things that I think you mentioned when you were talking about your goals is something I've always done with sales staff and things like that, and planning my goals is they've got to be activity based, because we can't necessarily control whether a house is going to close or not. But I can control whether or not I market correctly, that I make X amount of calls per day, those sorts of things. So if you just set a monetary goal, that's really hard to get to. So you got to break it down into activities. So the activity goal is I think, the key.
Yeah, I love that. You got to take action. We can only go so far just thinking about it or planning about it. At some point, we have to actually go do it. And what I coach on a lot is taking that year goal and breaking it down. For me, it's a daily goal, but for a realtor, it's a little bit different. It might be a monthly goal, but getting it down to the smallest factor possible after establishing that big goal. And then, okay, what are the activities I need to do to hit that number this month? And then I just need to go rinse and repeat and do it again next month and then you get to the end of the year, and I would say you're probably going to actually surpass the goal at that point. You're going to do enough activity along the way that you're going to look back and, how do I get here? And that's when I talk to top producing agents, a lot of times that's what happens. That's what the conversation looks like, is they'll look back. I was working with an agent that made $940,000. And I said, okay, well, how did you get here? Well, it was a 5-year process. It's doing the activities every day and being consistent. Right. And then all of a sudden one day you look up and you're like, how did I get here? It's being consistent along the way, doing those activities. Absolutely 100% correct. Good. Anything else? All right. Well, guys, I appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'll get this video produced today, so we'll get a copy back out if you want to take a look at it. Let's see, let me just make sure. There's one more question here. Can you share the cost of the coaching program? Sure. Okay. So I have group coaching at $75 a month. It meets at 2:00 on Mondays. Non-broker centric. We meet for 45 minutes to an hour, and that's $75 a month. I offer one-on-one coaching. That's 30 minutes via Zoom. Both of these are via Zoom as well. It's $500 a month for one-on-one coaching, and that's where we take a deep dive into your business, your specific needs, the strategies that need to happen, and the accountability around that. And it's never accountability to me. It's accountability to what you've committed to. So that's what I'm going to keep you accountable to. If your goal is X and you're not tracking for it, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to go back to actions, just like Mike said. I'm going to go back and say, okay, here's the activities that you were committing to, and you're not on track. So $75 a month for group, $500 for one-on-one coaching. And I do offer some other custom things out there for brokers as well. So any other questions? If not, I'm going to check out because I promised you 30 minutes. We are at 10:29, and I value your time just as much as I know I value mine. So I'm going to send you back out into the world. Again, guys, thank you for the opportunity. Matt, Mike, and Kim for creating that. Thank you, Ashley, for getting the word out. I appreciate y'all greatly. And John, I don't know if you're going to watch this or not, but thank you again for the email and the invite this morning. I just could not get on. So thank you guys for the opportunity, and hope you'll have a great and productive day, and not just productive, but productive in the right things. Take care.
Jamie,